Hey Cody, okay, so here is your past life spread, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at where you are, what you do with the majority of your time, an important day, another important day, the death, and the lesson learned. And we usually get hints of time throughout, but we're going to put that time card away because we're looking at Atlantis or Lemuria. And these are places that are highly recognized in the spiritual community as truly existing places. So that is why I made a card for it. Now, another thing to mention is I'm looking at 5 cards here that are the same cards that showed up in your sister's reading, which is really cool to me. And I've not had that happen. And to me, that shows truly a connection. And let me tell you, I have 89 cards in my deck. So just giving you a clue as to how, like, at least to me, that's odd. That's pretty cool that 5 of the cards would be the same. So anyway, let's begin. Let's go into this and see what we're looking at. So the Atlantis Lemuria card. Whether or not, this is your cup of tea with Atlantis or Lemuria, those, lost lands, so to speak, what it does symbolize is energy, right? So Atlantis is known to have more of like a masculine or aggressive kind of energy. Doesn't mean it's bad, it just means it's more like forward. And then Lemuria is known to have more of like a passive feminine energy. And so in this case, we're going to Atlantis because that's where it's pulling me. And so what I'm going to be doing is just giving you or relaying to you the images and impressions and feelings I'm getting. And your job is going to be to try to make connections where you can, from this life to your current life. And I'm going to try to help in however I can. So we're going to Atlantis, we're going to these energies, and I'm just gonna see what is gonna come clear to me next. And I feel like we're looking at a young man here, which, you can be either gender in other lifetimes. That's not odd at all, but we're looking at a man. And so we're looking at the life of leisure, okay? There we go. Yeah. So the life of leisure, it doesn't always mean it's easy peasy. It can just mean that things come naturally to that person, and that's what I'm feeling for here. So we're looking at someone who, whatever they're doing, it comes very naturally to them, and I feel like we're looking at someone who does actually a lot of what's it called? Like physical activity, but in a way that it's almost like, bear with me here, it's almost like a camp counselor. Like a camp counselor, like the canoes and starting the fire and what's it called? Like, what's that thing when you swing over the lake? Just like all those activities, zip lining, woo, there you go. All those cool activities you do at camp. I feel like we're looking at someone here that's basically like a camp counselor or like a PE teacher or something that has to do with basically helping others physically, but it comes so naturally to you, to this person, that it's almost like fun for them, and that's why. And we've gotten a leisure card with Atlantis before, where that person was just kind of a lazy SOB hanging around with, because his parents were wealthy. But in this case, you're actually doing work and you're working hard, but it comes to you so naturally, you were just born for it, that it's more like fun than anything. It's more fun than work. So in your current life, how that might connect with you is, one, you can either be working at something that you feel is very natural to you. You fall into things easily. You might have just ability to naturally pick things up, whatever they might be. On the flip side, how you can make a connection is you might find yourself having obstacles in your way often, like a theme in your life. And the reason why that might be is because when you experience something, or your soul experiences a life one way, your soul likes to experience things. So if it's doing it this way here, it might come back currently in your current life and experience something a little bit different or more harder in order to learn or, experience that. So that's how you can connect either way. All right? All right. Oh, also, you might connect to that in a way where you enjoy, like, those activities. You might actually like to do, like, outdoorsy stuff. That's what it feels like. It feels like outdoorsy stuff, like canoeing and swimming, and maybe even like adrenaline junkie, like roller coastery, like zipliney stuff, Or you just might like being someone. You might be someone who likes being outdoors. All right. So that's what I'm getting here. So let's go to your first important day. Here is this is the death card. This is one of the similar cards we had, and it's associated with soulmate. And soulmate is not always romantic, so I'm just going to see what we're looking at here. Soulmate could be just someone from your soul group, someone you come in and out of lives with for various reasons. And then the neutrality card, that's another one of the same cards we're getting here. So I'm seeing what's happening here. What is happening here? Okay, interesting. So what it feels like is we're looking at the death of an immediate family member, and I feel like we're looking at the death of a sibling. And I feel like the sibling is a female, and I feel like this person is younger than you, and it's almost like you are an adult while this person is still going through childhood. And I feel like this person, there's something with like a what's it called, like born with a disease, like she was born with something that would like affect her bones or affect her in such a way that it eventually caught up with her. And I feel like it was known, almost expected, but you know, that's hard to say, like, oh, I expect her to die. You know, you always hope for the best. So when it actually does happen, it is like a hard hit, but I feel like it hits harder to your parents. And this neutrality card comes in because I feel like this little girl, even though she was like fully loved as much as you can give someone love that you know is going to die, there was always a thin, tiny veil between either you and her, or her parents and her, or the whole family and her, because it was almost like a self-protection mechanism. The neutrality and how you feel, it's almost like you know she won't always be there, so to, even on a subconscious level, to attach all your heart to someone you know is going to be dying within, you know, by a certain time, it would make sense. It's almost very human and a survival tactic to not fully invest everything you've got into this person knowing they're going to be gone. So this is kind of like a very bittersweet relationship here, because this person was a very lovely person. So in your current life, you might be someone who you find yourself very slow to warm up to. Like it might take a while for your friends to get to a level of like warmth or trust, or like it might take a while for your friends to get to a level where you would consider them family, I guess. Like maybe not like an instant bonding kind of person, even though you might instantly bond with people. It's like a certain level, like it takes a while for them to get to a certain level of your heart, if that makes sense. Let's see what else. Oh, on the flip side, because there was this kind of thin veil around, or like this barrier, I would say like a thin barrier between you and her in that way, it's almost like in your current life, it could be opposite too. So what I just said was, you know, it could take a while for people to warm up, but on the flip side, you could also be someone who wants to dive head into relationships, I guess, because you weren't able to kind of secure the relationship here. And that doesn't mean romantic. It can mean romantic, but you know, relationships can be just friendships, or even like with parents, or with best friends, like someone who's your best friend now it might not have clicked right away. But on the other hand, on the flip side, you could be someone who does really want to just kind of fall in love. Like you just want, there might be like this, it might even be subconscious, like this feeling of just wanting to be able to trust enough or not worry about loss, so that you would be able to fully invest in someone. So keep that in mind too, if that speaks to you at all. So let's go to the next important day. So these are the next cards. These two cards came together in the last one as well, and it's funny, one, that they come together at all, because it's birth and child, so you're like, duh, of course, but that, you know, it's two readings in a row with someone that you know, it's just so interesting to me. So we're looking at a birth, and we're looking at a child, and we're looking at the pride card, and this is going to be your child being born. And this card here, the pride card, is really important, because this is a feeling that is like so loving. It's like so much love with this pride of this family that you are creating. It's almost overwhelming. Let me see here. It's amazing too, because so this birth is a daughter, and instantly, like, there's an emotional feeling coming up because you immediately realize how connected this all is to losing your younger sister, and here you are having a daughter. And I feel like there's a little bit of worry that something might go wrong, but it doesn't go wrong. Everything is perfect. This child is perfect. So in your current life, you actually might be someone who really wants to be a dad, or who takes a lot of pride, if you already are a father, might take a lot of pride in your children or just being a father. This can also mean that you could be a fatherly figure to youth in the community. You just might be someone who really enjoys helping the youth or seeing them through tough times, or someone like a what's it called at school, those counselors, you know, that just might be like your vibe, like who you are. You just like to help younger people get through the hard stuff. But I feel like more so than anything, it pertains to family, and it just pertains to like having children, building a beautiful family. There's a feeling of security coming in. So if you're someone that worries about security, not just financial, but like literally physical security, like, you know, an alarm system kind of security, that might come into play too, because it plays off of the loss you had here. The loss you went through here could come back in your current life as someone who wants to make sure that everybody's safe and nothing will happen to them, you see? So if that speaks to you, it would stem from here, all right? Let's see if there's anything else with that. Just that this is a solid family. There's something very special about family. Just keep in mind too how it does flip. You know, you can get on the flip side that in your current life you might be someone who doesn't want children because of the incredible loss you suffered here, and you made up for it here, so you might not feel, your soul might not feel like you have to make up for it anymore. But I feel more than anything it'd be more like you would be a family man, a very good dad, a very good family guy. So here is the death card, and this is the other card that was similar to the last reading, the death by water card. So I'm just trying to see what is going, okay, so what's coming through right away is you pass doing what you love, you pass doing one of these activities that we were talking about, and I feel like there is a drowning because I feel like it's the kind of thing where you may have actually tried to be helping someone and something got rigged wrong. And I feel like we're looking like a boat. And I feel like we're looking at something getting caught, something holding you under because you're caught because you were trying to help. Like, I feel like it's just another youth, like another young person, and you're trying to help and you're caught underwater. So in your current life, you could have asthma, breathing problems, lung issues, with your, you know, fluid in the lungs, if you get bronchitis, pneumonia, what's it called? No, I don't know. I would say if you do have a fear of the water, you might like boats, but you don't like the water. If you do have any kind of fear of that water, it would come from here. But at the same time, I feel like you're such a fish in the water in this life that I don't know if it would actually change you enough that would make you scared of it. But just keep that in mind as well. But yeah, mostly those breathing issues, sinus issues as well. And if you have any vision problems, it would come from this too. It would stem from here. So keep that in mind. I also feel like it's your foot or ankle area that gets caught in such a way that it kind of renders you like helpless. So if you have any issues with your feet, with your ankles, like weak ankles or anything like that, it could stem from here as well. So keep that in mind. Now the lesson here, this lesson is compromise. Compromise. And what we see here for the compromise, what we're looking at here, is how you really compromised your emotions with the relationship with your sister. You couldn't fully invest in that little girl. And so you compromised the level of the level of love, I guess, that you could have had with this relationship with your sister in order to kind of, in a sense, save yourself or save your heart, even if it was on a subconscious level. And so in your current life, I feel like this is coming up because it's kind of a message to not worry about that anymore. Like, if you're someone that holds yourself back from truly investing in doing things, there's a feeling that there may be regret or resentment later on. And I just want to, like, I feel like I'm being urged to tell you that this compromise as far as your emotions go with the people that you love and that are close to you no longer should play into your relationships. I feel like it's something that now that, like, if this is making you aware of anything you might be doing where you're holding yourself back from something or someone, it's time to let that go, because I feel like if you're able to fully invest in a person or a situation, you're going to see the most amazing rewards and most amazing results happen. And it's worth experiencing. Even if there's some pain along the way somehow, it's worth experiencing the full spectrum of a relationship or of a situation, instead of holding yourself back and then years down the road you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I just went for it, you know, that kind of thing. So there's your past life. I hope you enjoyed it and you were able to make some connections, and thanks for letting me read you.